I'm going to give you guys a second to go ahead and write down example 1 and the direction simplify. Go ahead and write A and B. Please pause the video to write down the examples. Now I'm going to begin. Letter A. What's wrong with this right here? It's a negative exponent. So if we look back at our warm-up, and you guys can see it on my screen right here, what do you do when you have a negative exponent? You flip it. So what am I going to flip? I'm going to flip the 4. The 4 now goes on the bottom. A 1 is on top. Why did I do that? Makes this positive. Yes, we could do 4 cubed to make our answer even more simplified, but just for the sake of time, we're going to leave it as that. Letter B. Something to the 0 power. If I look at 7 and 8 in my warm-up, what happens when I have something to the 0 power? It equals what? It equals 1. Now, is 3 raised to the 0 power? No, just that guy. So 3 times 1 would give me a final answer of just 3. Letter C. Uh-oh, he's on the bottom now. How do I make him positive? Well, I'm going to bring him to the top. So therefore it makes that positive, sorry. Now do I really need that 1 on the bottom? No, so my final answer is x to the 5th. Okay, now I want you guys to pause the video and I want you guys to try D. This should be E and F. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do them because you should have paused and done them. Nothing I can do with the 5. Nothing I can do with an A cubed. You just leave these guys alone. Then I have a B to the negative second. Looks just like this. How do I make it positive? I bring it to the bottom. I put my quotient bar. And then I make my exponent positive. There is my final answer. E. Nothing I can do with this 2. How do I make this positive? Bring it up. I've got A cubed. Final answer. I'm done. And last, first I see a negative exponent, so I'm going to draw my bar and I'm going to drop that to the bottom. Next I see I have W to the 0 power. That equals 1. What am I going to put on top? Oh, sorry, you guys can't see. I'm going to put a 1. Final answer right here. Pause if you need to see those again. I am moving on to example 2. We're going to simplify again, starting off with letter A. P to the 6th times P to the 8th times P. All right, they've got the bases in common. So what do? We're going to add. Now question, what's this imaginary exponent right here? Hopefully you said 1. So let's add up all those guys I circled. 6 plus 8, hopefully we don't need a calculator. That is 14 plus 1. Final answer, P to the 15th power. Let's move on to B. Now, I've got some numbers that are like terms. And then I've got some letters that are all the same. Notice I got a single and a double underline. So I'm going to start with my single underline. -2 times 6, that's -12. Then I got to multiply times 4. Negative 48. Now, my x's, what am I going to do with all of them? I'm going to add them, just like I did in letter A. 4 plus an imaginary 1 is 5, and then 5 plus 3 is 8. X to the 8. So negative 48x to the 8th is my final answer. Now I'm going to give you guys 2 to try. Go ahead and try C. Now, we haven't done one like this yet, but I just wanted to see if you could do it. Power to a power, you could have looked back at your warm-up. You should multiply. What's negative 3 times 4? Hopefully you said negative 12. Now, that can't be a final answer. Why? It's a negative exponent. What do? Flip 1 over P12. Final answer. Letter D. W to the negative 2. Gonna draw my division bar and drop to the bottom. I already know it's ugly because it has a negative exponent. Now I've got 7 times 3. That's 21. Oh, another rule. When I'm dividing, what do I do with my exponents? Subtract. So, I want you to write the word subtract because I don't know if I wrote that yet. 21 minus 2 gives me a final answer as W to the 19th power. Okay, now I'm going to give you 2 to try. Letter E we are on. Negative 8 p to the 7th times 5p cubed. Go ahead and try that. First things first, multiply negative 8 and 5. You should get negative 40. Next thing, you have your p's. What do you do with them? You add. What's 7 plus 3? Final answer, negative 40, p to the 10th. Go ahead and try F. Oh, you guys are probably wondering what that is. That's a 2. Okay, negative times a negative, positive. I have r to the 10th times r3. This is a 2-stepper. So I power to a power, I multiply. Now I'm going to do what? Add r to the 13th is my final answer. Moving on to example 3. Write the word simplify. One more example after this and we're done. This is a long one. Go ahead and write that. If at any point again you need to pause the video, go ahead and do so. I have also attached the typed up notes so you can have those written before we begin this video. Please utilize your time wisely. Okay, here we go. If you need to flip back to your warm-up, please do so. When I have a power to the outside, what I do, I need to distribute everything. We wrote the letters D-I-S-T. First, I'm distributing 2 cubed, then x cubed to another cube, y cubed, then z squared to the 3rd power. 2 cubed, is that 6? No, it's 2 times 2 times 2, 3 2's. That gives me 8. Next, I have a power to a power. 3 times 3, 9. Y cubed, we're lucky, we don't need anything. Then I have Z. 2 times 3, 6. Final answer. Even though it's tedious, we get to our answer. Letter B, you try. Should be your final answer. You distributed, then you multiplied. -4, the third power is -64. 2 times 3 is 6, and nothing to do with the y's. Moving on to letter C. Okay, letter C. Power to a power, I multiply. Now, what do I do with this 4? I distribute. I'm distributing it to the y, to the x, and to the 3. Don't forget that number. 3 to the 4th, x to the 4th. Now I multiply. What's 5 times 4? 20. Okay. What's wrong with this? It's negative. How do I make it positive? I drop it to the bottom. So I would now have 3 to the 4th, x to the 4th, y to the 20th over x to the 4th. What do you know about these x's? If I subtract them, what's 4 minus 4? 0. Goodbye. Final answer, 3 to the 4th, y to the 20th. Letter D. Ooh. -4, x squared y. All over z cubed, and that is raised to the second power. What's my first step? I'm going to distribute. Question. How many items am I distributing to? Hopefully you said 4. 4, 4, 4. Why 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks like -4 squared, x squared to the second power, y squared, and then z cubed all over squared. First things first, what's -4 squared? Hopefully you said 16. Next, power to a power, I multiply. What's 2 times 2? 4. Nothing I can do with the y. And then on the bottom, 3 times 2, that's z to the 6. So, what I want you to realize with exponents, there are going to be all these rules in one problem. So don't think that's just going to be one rule and done. Got 2 more to try here, and then we will move on to our last and final example. Go ahead and try E. Final answer? 3 to the 4th, C to the 26th, and D to the 4th. Go ahead and try F. Okay, let's see, you should have m to the 8th all over. This 5 has to be raised to the 2nd power. So what's 5 squared? 25, and then 6 times 2, 12. Final answer. Moving on to example 4, here we go. Write that down. We're only going to do 3 here. Let's do it. Negative exponent, you can either make it positive or you can distribute. I'm just going to go ahead and distribute. So I've got 3 to the negative 2. G, now I've got negative 4 times negative 2. Gives me a positive 8. Look at that, it made it positive. And then H to the negative 10. Why am I doing that line? Because I see I have a negative power. 3 to the negative 2, I drop to the bottom. That's going to be 9. 3 squared is 9. My G stays on top. What do I do with this H? It comes right next to the 9, and I am done. Okay, you've got 2 more. Letter B. Let's do they're both negative. Let's flip them both. Now what am I going to do? Subtract. 13 minus 11 is 2. My final answer is m squared. Okay, here we go. Last one. Let's do negative 12 over 4. And this is going to be an x to the 11th and an x squared. And then a y and a y to the 6th. Okay. Try that. Why did I make 3 circles? Because they're 3 separate terms. So I'm going to do it on the bottom now. Negative 12 over 4, common mistake. It's not negative 1/3. Your bigger number's on top, so the big number has to stay on top. That's going to be negative 3. I have my x's, one on top, one on bottom. I subtract. What's 11 minus 2? 9. Then on the bottom, what's this imaginary one right here? It's a 1. 1 minus 6 is 5. So my final answer, here we go. Now you guys may complete the exit ticket for today. Make sure you are completing your exit ticket each and every day. That is your attendance. If you fail to do so, you'll be marked absent. Use your notes to complete the homework in the Khan Academy for this week. Good luck, and I will see you in my office hours if you have any questions.